Ever heard of the girl who went under the knife for 16 hours straight, getting 10 procedures done in one day? That's Heidi Montag, and her plastic surgery addiction nearly cost her life. From disfigurement to life-threatening complications, the pursuit of perfection can quickly become a nightmare when taken to the extreme. Today, we're ripping off the Band-Aid and exposing the harsh realities of when celebrities' plastic surgery goes horribly wrong. For real, though, when it comes to the pursuit of perfection, some celebrities have taken it way too far. Take the case of Hang Myoku, a successful Korean model and singer. At first, she just wanted flawless skin, so she got a few procedures done. But soon, that wasn't enough. She became obsessed with plastic surgery, moving to Japan just to get more work done. Before long, Hang had transformed herself into someone even her parents couldn't recognize. And we're not just talking a little nip and tuck here. She was injecting herself with cooking oil and whatever else she could get her hands on when the doctors refused to operate. Sadly, Hang's story isn't unique. It's a classic case of body dysmorphic disorder, where you can't stop picking apart your looks, no matter how gorgeous you might be to everyone else. One procedure leads to another, and another, in this never-ending pursuit of perfection that's honestly just an illusion. Listen, if you're struggling with hating your appearance, plastic surgery isn't the answer. Getting work done won't fix those deep-rooted self-esteem issues. The real solution? Professionals help to overcome that negative way of thinking about yourself. Because true beauty comes from within, not from a surgeon's knife.
These cosmetic procedures are becoming so popular with teens, plastic surgeons have coined a new syndrome for it, Snapchat dysmorphia, with young patients wanting surgery so they can look more like they do in filtered selfies.
Speaking of surgeons' knives, let's talk about the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. Now, MJ's transformation is one for the books, but not in a good way. This man allegedly underwent over 100 surgeries in his lifetime, all in the hopes of achieving his idea of perfection. From nose jobs to cheek implants and more, Michael slowly but surely morphed into someone almost unrecognizable as the fresh-faced kid we all fell in love with. By the end, you could hardly tell what ethnicity the guy was anymore. That's how extreme his surgical journey became. Look, I get celebrities' pressure to maintain a certain image, but at what cost? Michael's case is a prime example of how excessive plastic surgery can strip you of the very thing that made you special and unique in the first place. If you're considering going under the knife, it's important to have realistic expectations and work with professionals you can trust. Once you start chasing that impossible standard of perfection, it's a slippery slope that can lead you down a path of no return. All right, so we've talked about plastic surgery obsession and taking transformations too far. But you know what's even scarier? The world of botched procedures and complications. This next story will have you cringing for sure. Meet Raji Narinesinghe, an American transgender woman who fell victim to the shady underbelly of the cosmetic surgery world. In 2005, Raji went to this unlicensed doctor in Miami who went by the name the Duchess. Well, the Duchess injected people with a wicked concoction of stuff like concrete filler, mineral oil, and straight-up glue. Raji thought she was getting legit silicone injections to feminize her face, breasts, and hips. Instead, she ended up with hard, disfiguring nodules all over her body. For years, Raji was so ashamed of her appearance that she became a recluse, afraid even to leave the house, let alone seek treatment. It wasn't until she appeared on the show Botched that she finally got the help she needed, though the damage had already been done. Her story is a harsh reminder that you can't cut corners when it comes to cosmetic procedures. Seeking out unlicensed, shady providers might save you a few bucks up front, but it could cost you way more in the long run. We're talking about your health, safety, and potentially life. All right, so we've seen the dangers of plastic surgery addiction and botched procedures, but you know what might be even more mind-boggling? The case of Rodrigo Alves, aka Jessica Alves, and her never-ending cycle of cosmetic operations. Get this, by 2018, Jessica had already undergone a whopping 103 procedures. And we're not just talking about your basic nip and tuck here, folks. This gal had her jawbone shattered to create a slimmer face, got 6 ribs removed for a tinier waist, and even changed her eye color through surgery. Talk about the extreme. Jessica's always been open about her journey to becoming a living cartoon character, which is how she describes her desired look. But you have to wonder, At what point does this stop being about self-expression and start becoming a dangerous obsession? See, plastic surgery addiction is a very real thing, and it's a vicious cycle that's tough to break. You get one procedure that feels good, but then you start nitpicking another flaw that needs fixing. Before you know it, you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars chasing an ideal that doesn't truly exist. And sure, on the surface, Jessica seems confident and empowered by her transformation. But deep down, is she truly happy and accepting of herself? Or is she just masking her insecurities with more and more surgery? No amount of cosmetic procedures can give you the self-love and inner peace you're searching for. That has to come from within, and you must learn to appreciate the unique qualities that make you. It doesn't matter if you're a famous celeb or an average Joe. True confidence is priceless, and it's not something you can buy under the knife. Speaking of cosmetic work gone wrong, let's talk about the one and only Cardi B for a second. Now, Cardi's never been shy about admitting to her nips and tucks, including a nose job she got to ditch her dad's signature schnoz. But you know what she does regret? Those butt implants she got way back when she was a stripper. See, in her early 20s, Cardi paid some sketchy basement guy just $800 to inject her booty with biopolymer filler. Turns out that stuff is super dangerous and can actually spread throughout your body. Cardi learned that the hard way when she started having complications and felt forced to get her implants removed just a couple of years ago. During an Instagram Live, the rapper got candid about her experience, warning her followers to never mess with biopolymers. She said the recovery from removing those sketchy implants was brutal, but at least now she's on the road to getting her body right. Gotta respect Cardi for owning up to her mistakes and being so open about her plastic surgery journey, the good and the bad. As she said, if you're unhappy with something, it's okay to change it, but you gotta do it safely, with qualified pros you can trust. That's real money advice from someone who learned those lessons the hard way. Then we've got Sharon Osbourne, who's been just as candid about her own plastic surgery regrets. This woman has been utterly transparent about the many tweaks and enhancements she's undergone. Facelifts, boob jobs, you name it. Sharon's been there, done that. But after a disastrous facelift in 2021 that, in her own words, made her look like a cyclops, Sharon finally put her foot down. She realized that time was no longer on her side, and getting more surgery just wasn't worth the risk. Can you imagine how scary it must have been to wake up from that intense 5.5-hour procedure and look in the mirror to see your face completely distorted? To the point where even your own kids were disturbed by your new look? Sharon's experience just goes to show that at some point you have to know when to say, enough is enough. Continuing to fight against Father Time with more extreme procedures is a losing battle. The road to self-acceptance is a journey, and plastic surgery clearly isn't always the answer. Sometimes, you've got to have the courage and wisdom to step back, embrace your imperfections, and find confidence through means beyond the operating table. So, what's the big takeaway from all these shocking celeb stories? Well, first off, we have to stop glamorizing and normalizing plastic surgery, especially for young people. It's not a toy, and you take it too far can have serious life-altering consequences. Real beauty isn't skin deep, and no amount of cosmetic work can truly fill the void if you're struggling with self-love and inner demons. So before going under the knife, ensure your head's in the right space. Have realistic expectations, do your research, and don't be afraid to hit the brakes if something doesn't feel right. At the end of the day, the most attractive quality any of us can possess isn't a perfect face or body. It's the confidence to appreciate ourselves, flaws and all. What do you make of these mind-boggling real-life stories? Let us know in the comment section. Also, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to get notified of our next video.